Alright, the first thing you're going to do is open up your project template, and we're going to get ready to bring some links in that we're going to use as backgrounds. So I provided those for you as well. But what I like to do often is sort of get my my sort of project location set up. And so the way that I typically do that is I go to my site, and I'm going to put in like a center reference plane and a horizontal reference plane that go through 0, 0, 0 here in Revit. So I'm going to go to reference plane, and I'll just draw a reference plane vertically here, and I'm just going to go to modify, and I'll pick it and click it, and I'm going to call this one NS for north south, and I'll just grab the dot and pull it down lower, so it goes all the way through, and then I'll do the same thing for the horizontal. Call this one east-west, and then I want to pick it and pull this little dot out, so we've got that. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to import or link some AutoCAD drawings to use as backgrounds. So what I'd like to do now is go to Plan 1, which is my working plan. So the plan schematic is going to be the one we print. So let's go to Plan 1. And it has a bunch of stuff in here, and so this is sort of my messy view. So I've got a lot of sections running around and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and insert and link the CAD, and just navigate to the drawing files, the zip files that you expanded, and select Plan 1, just single left click, and I want you to set the positioning auto origin to origin. The center of this plan is set to, I use AutoCAD to draw it, so it's set to AutoCAD 00, so it will come in centered. And each one of these plans is set, with the same center, set to 00, so they all come in right on top of each other. And I would really recommend, pre-planning that. Like if you're using Rhino, move the plan, to the center where it's centered on 00, and then if you have a second floor, move the same center and export selected from that point. So you can just use auto origin to origin. You don't have to move them around. Now, the other thing that I want to do is click this current view only. So when I import or link this, it will only show up in my plan view. So when I go to 3D and all this stuff, I'm not going to have all this line drawing in my way. So I'm going to click open at this point, and it's going to bring that in and place it pretty much centered. And then I'm just going to repeat that for Plan 2. And Plan 3. Click open. Okay, so we've got all that done. One thing is that the scope box, which controls the extents of my elevations and some of my sections, is a little big. So I would like to, sort of center that on my building and make it a little smaller, a little tighter. So I'm going to go back to my site plan, and I'm going to pick this reference plane, and I'm going to copy it. I think 8 feet would be enough, and we'll take a look. You'll notice that the plan is not showing up here. So I'm going to copy this one over 8 feet as well. And let's go to our Plan 1. And you can see where those reference, I could have done that from Plan 1 too, which would have been probably made more sense, so you could see where the plan was. But now you see that's how far offset it is. You can choose to make it more or less if you want to. Now I'm just going to pick the scope box and drag it to where it's close to that line, and not exactly on it, because I'm just going to zoom in and make some finer adjustments. Now there's no way that I know of to snap these, so you just kind of have to zoom in and live with the fact that you get it as close as you can by using these little blue pickies, right? So I'm just pulling it on top right there, and I'll do the same thing for these. Okay, about right there, right? So I'll get that close. So now I've got that. You can check, it looks like the top and the bottom are actually pretty good. So I think I'll leave those for now. So now we've got all that set up. The last thing I'm going to do is actually I'm going to import an elevation in here. And we're going to use it for a couple of things. So I'm just going to go to my east elevation. So I'll double click on that and I'll zoom out. Nope, it's already here. Let me delete it. I must have put it in there. So let me get rid of it and we'll just bring it in. Okay, so now I'm in my east elevation and I'm going to go to Insert, Link CAD, and I'm going to pick the elevation and I'm going to click OK or Open, leaving all of the other settings in current view, and it's going to bring that elevation in. And I think for right now we're in pretty good shape. What I want to make sure of is that these levels correspond to the blue lines in the elevation. So if I move that level up, you'll see that there's a blue line there, and these are my finished floors, right? We're not gonna do actually the curving wall this time. We'll do it next time, but that's eventually what our wall is going to look like. So if your levels are not exactly on those blue lines, what I want you to do is I want you to go to the Align command right here, pick Align, first pick the blue line, and then pick the level. You do not lock it, so I'm going to pick this blue line, and then I'm going to pick the level. And just make sure those are in the same plane and get that all done. Okay, so that's just the setup, and we'll go into making walls next.